Okay, welcome back. Just had to get some coffee. Okay, now we're going to animate this robot, and we're not going to start at the beginning because this is our construction part where we put the robot together. So we don't want to mess with that, with none of the pieces that we have here. We're going to move the slider, and I'm going to start it at 50. Okay, and we're going to put what I usually like to do before I start, for every uh, keyframe I add, I like to put a cue point. That keeps me track of all the cue points that I have. Because so whenever I go back and animate another piece, I can keep it all, you know, at the same as the other parts when I animate them. So we'll just add a cue point right there. Alright, now we're going to click on the body. And then we're going to add its first keyframe for movement at that cue point. Okay, and then we're going to move it to 75. Now keep in mind, the closer you have the keyframes together, the faster the animation will be. The further apart that you have them from each other, it moves a little slower. So I like to do it like maybe, you know, by numbers here on the timeline. So we got 50, I'm moving it to 75, and then I'm going to add a cue point, and then my keyframe. Alright, like so. Now we're going to grab the body. Well, let's see. Do I do the body or do I do the leg? Okay, we're going to do the leg first. Yeah, let's start with the leg. Alright, and then with the mouse, I'm sorry, let's start with I did the body. So what we need to do is to add keyframes for the leg. Go back to the first cue point, add a keyframe, and then to the second cue point, add a keyframe. Now we got the keyframes for the leg. With the mouse buttons, press both buttons down, pull up on the leg, like so, and then let go of the right mouse button, and then move the leg forward, like so, okay, and then on the step down, we're going to move maybe about that much from that keyframe, add a cue point, and then another keyframe. With both buttons on the mouse pressed down, pull down on the leg, like so. Alright. Now, let's move back to the first cue point. Then we'll click on the body. As you see, we already have the keyframes for the body because I went ahead of myself and, so. Alright. Now, let's move the slider to the next keyframe, and then we're going to, let me move that out of the way, like that. We're going to drag that body forward a little bit, like that, keeping that leg in the center, like so. Now let's see. Move it back and forth. See how we're getting a little motion there? It's trying to take its first step. There we go. Now we're going to animate the other leg. We're going to make it step. Alright, so click on the right leg. Right at that last cue point, we're going to add a keyframe for it. Now, let's move this in between the 125, I'm sorry. Add a cue point, and then a keyframe. Again, with both mouse buttons pressed down, grab the leg, drag up, whoops, a little bit too much, and then let go of the right mouse button, drag that leg drag it forward a little bit, and then we'll move that slider a little bit more further away, add that cue point, and then a keyframe, and let's grab it again and then drag it down. Okay, let me see. I don't think I lift up on the leg when let's see. No, I didn't. Let's lift up on that leg. Okay, and then there we go. Okay, and we move back to this cue point right here where we added the first keyframe for the right leg, and then we're going to click on the body. Okay, and then we're going to add a keyframe. Sometimes you have to wiggle the slide bar whenever you switch pieces to get the keyframe button to highlight. There we go. Add it keyframe, and then we'll slide the slider over to this cue point, and then we'll add a keyframe. Okay, now let's grab that body and move it forward like so, keeping the legs centered. Like that. Now let's see. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, now keep staying at this last cue point. We're going to go back to the left leg. Click on it and then add a keyframe. Now we're going to move the slider to 150. And then we'll add a cue point there. Alright. Now, again, with both mouse buttons pressed, well, wait a minute, let's add that last keyframe first. Now, you have to forgive me, sometimes I get ahead of myself. So, alright, now with both mouse buttons pressed, grab the leg, pull it up, and then move it forward by releasing the right button on the mouse. Move it forward like before, move it a little bit like this, add a cue point, and then a keyframe. Key points really help you keep track of all the keyframes. It helps me a lot when I animate with a keyframe. Okay, now we're going to do the body again. Click on the body, keeping it at that last cue point that we just made. Wiggle the slider a little bit to highlight the keyframe button. Now, we're going to move the body. So, grab it, slightly move it forward a little bit. Put that body right in the center of that leg. So, I know you're probably saying, hey, you're leaving the arms behind. Well, don't worry, the arms are going to be the last things that we animate. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, move back to the last cue point and let's grab the legs. I'm sorry, let's grab and move the right leg again. Click on it, and then at that last cue point, so wiggle that little slider a little bit, and then add the keyframe, and then we're going to move the slider to like, say, about in the middle of that, out there, in between 175 and 200. Add a cue point, and then add a keyframe. As before, mouse buttons, grab it, lift up, let go of the right, and then move it forward a little bit. and then slightly move it, and then add another cue point, and then keyframe, grab it and bring it down. Now the same thing for the body. And we'll move that slider. Yeah, we'll move it forward where it's right in the center of that right leg. Let's see. Yeah, that's looking real good. Okay, we're going to make one more step. I'm not going to do a whole full path. I'm just going to do a few steps. Okay, now let's do all the same processes over again one more time. Okay, just watch me or what I do. Okay, right about there. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to add the keyframe. Let's do that again. Sometimes I forget. Yes, we all do. Don't worry, you'll catch yourself doing it. So I forgot to add that keyframe. I'm a nut. I'll have to go back and do it again. Nah, nobody's a nut. We're all human, and we forget. Never put yourself down because you make a mistake or, you forget things. It's just part of being human. Okay? Now let's do the body. The keyframe. Move that body right in the center like that. And this is going to be the last steps. Okay? Alright. Now, don't worry about the legs being close together because we can fix them by going to each keyframe, and wherever they're touching together, we'll spread them apart. Okay? Now let's go to this leg here. Add a keyframe. Both mouse buttons. Lift up. Pull it forward by releasing the right mouse button. Okay. Add a cue point. Keyframe. And bring it down. I'll tell you what. Since the legs are going to be even on the last steps. No, never mind. We'll keep doing it this way. We'll just keep doing it this way. Let's see. All right. Okay, I see something's not working right. Okay. Let's delete that keyframe. I think I made a mistake. You can delete each keyframe by pushing the little trash can on the keyframe dialog. Let's see. Okay, for some reason both legs are, yeah, right there. Okay. I see a lot of times you'll make mistakes. Like I said, you're just human. I mean, we all will catch ourselves in our mistakes. So, right there. Okay. So, yeah, that's what I did. I forgot to add a keyframe at the beginning of that cue point for the right leg. That's what I forgot to do. Okay, for that right leg, I'm going to add a cue point. Oh, wait a minute. It's going to be at this cue point here. Then we'll add a keyframe. and then we'll move that in between 250 and 275. Everybody hates making mistakes, but don't worry, you're just human. Okay, now let's add that keyframe for that leg. Pull up on it. Hopefully that'll fix it. Normally most people that make tutorials, when they make mistakes, they'll stop it and redo it. But I ain't going to do that because I want to show you that we all make mistakes and teach you how to correct it. Okay, so we'll make a keyframe and then we'll pull that one down. And then click on the body, keep it at that cue point. We'll have to wiggle a little bit to highlight that keyframe button. There we go. And then move that body forward a little bit. Like so. Now let's see if that fixes it. Oh yes, very nice. That's better. He's taking small steps. Okay. We're going to move that left leg right even with the right leg because this is the last steps. So click on that leg there. Jiggle the slider, add a keyframe. Alright, and then we'll move it to 300. Okay, cue point and keyframe. That leg up with both mouse buttons. Move it right in the middle of that leg right there. And then move the slider just a little bit like that. Cue point, keyframe. There. There we go. We made the last steps. Now, this leg here, I think it's basically that leg that's a little too close. So we'll go move, keep that right leg selected and go to each cue point and then move that leg over a little bit. Yeah, there. There. And right there. He's a little turned a little bit right there, so let's turn it around. Go to this key point. Yep, right there. And a little bit. There. Turn it a little bit, straighten it up. And go right here. That's good, just gotta straighten it up. And go here. That's looking good so far on those. There. And there. Okay. Now we got the body and the legs animated. Now we're going to animate the arms. But I'm going to take a little break real quick and I'll be right back and we'll finish this tutorial up. Be right back.